In the last episode, we were leaving Turkey on a ferry and heading further south for the winter. But we weren't quite done with it yet. We'd returned to Turkey in the spring, and as you'll see later, it still had some surprises in store for us. We're a family of 4 going around the world on a 5-year overlanding journey. This is Jane, our Grenadier, and we live here in our off-road trailer. Along the way, we'll be sharing stories to support projects that preserve and protect our wild earth. Most of us have heard the line, "Follow your dreams." But what if once we get there, once we achieve the dream, we realize it's not actually what we want, or it's not how we thought it would be? What if we could step into the dream and give it a try? Sort of like sample it before really going for it. Well, that's exactly what we did. Matt and I have been dreaming of living on a farm for years now, and it's a serious consideration once we've finished Project Wild Earth. We found a way to give this farm thing a shot without having to buy the land and commit. We'd be spending the next 2 months volunteering on a farm in northern Cyprus. Irfan, Sinem, and their son Ruzgar welcomed us into their home from the moment we arrived. Their farm sits on 1.5 acres of land, and it's been nearly 2 years since they began this massive undertaking of bringing a piece of industrial farmed land back to life, in addition to raising their son and working full-time jobs. It was incredible to see their determination in bringing their dream to life.
Started in 2016 when our son was born. At the market, everything is artificial and it's all chemical food, and all the vegetables are poisoned. So we decided to find a clean food to feed him as much as we can. We started to plant some greens, tomatoes and cucumbers. And it worked. We success.
You sound surprised.
Yeah. It seems.
We had no idea what we were doing when we first.
It was like an experiment, but it worked. Yeah. Later, we decided to continue at our balcony and at roof or our friends' houses, gardens. Suddenly, it's become a serious thing for us.
So basically we said, why not we do this on a land, we're okay at the roof. Why don't we take it to a bigger scale?
Throughout our time on the farm, we had scheduled shifts so that one of us was always with Jack and Charlotte. They had a blast on the farm, helping out in their own ways, but they especially liked playing in the muddy puddles and playing with the animals. Matt and I did a variety of tasks, from managing the compost, building a chicken coop, clearing and preparing the beds for planting, and so much more. We very quickly realized the importance of soil.
When we first moved in, we wanted to see the situation of the land because we had no idea about the soil. It was below 1%, the organic matter in the soil. In order to call a soil like a healthy one, you need to have minimum 5% organic matter. It's a living thing, soil, and every living thing needs to be fed. And making compost, anything that comes from soil, like earth, can go back to it.
With industrial agriculture, the soil every year is getting weak. They're adding more chemical fertilizers, and they are also tilling the soil. When you till the soil become
exposed to sun
and all the micro creatures inside. They are dying.
So it's a closed loop, that system, that damages our health in every way. It pollutes the water we drink, it pollutes our soil, so anything we eat is not healthy. And of course, it also pollutes the air. So what happens when you can't eat healthy, can't drink healthy, can't breathe healthy, the health goes away.
Everything Irfan and Sinem grow is 100% natural and free from pesticides and chemicals. They use a fascinating system called permaculture. It's basically the opposite to the more commonly used monoculture, where one type of crop or tree is planted at a time. When we look at nature as a guide, there's a reason it doesn't look like that. This is because the more diverse an ecosystem is, the more resilient it can become.
Everybody is criticizing about the system, about the food, our politicians, about everything. But nobody is talking about the solutions. Permaculture means solutions. It gives solution for the carbon or climate change. It gives solution for the lack of water. It gives solution for the animal productions also, plant productions, lots of things.
Waste control.
Waste control.
Permaculture starts with observing and understanding the patterns and intricacies of nature, and then applying those learnings to design our own environments. This approach extends beyond just our gardens and farms. It's also about our homes, our communities, and our lifestyles. The way our food is produced plays a large role in the conservation of nature. Perhaps it's time to rethink how we grow food, to shift from a system that works against nature to one that works with nature.
I believe there's really hope because people are now awakening. Even if they cannot, do themselves, they are trying to support local producers, local, clean, natural producers. I am hopeful, and if we lose our hope, there's nothing else, we left. So I'm hopeful.
If you're interested in volunteering on a farm, we found it through an amazing organization called Wolf. It offers people the opportunity to find organic farms that need helping hands. In exchange, you are provided with food and lodging, but you also learn about the local culture and sustainable farming practices.
We loved it. We really loved it. I mean, it's great to be able to experiment with a dream that you might have and test it rather than go and buy a plot of land and cross your fingers it's all going to work out.
I had known a little bit about permaculture before this, but I think now, having had this experience, it's really just made me fall even more in love with the practice of permaculture design. And one of the things I really like is that it can be used anywhere. And right now, there are people all over the world using it in different climates, environments, different cultures, and so it's really a universal system.
A lot of the information actually comes from indigenous people from all over the world, and they've kind of brought it all together and simplified it and made it accessible to everyone. And the longer we are there on the farm, the more and more you start learning about the different layers to it, and that it's just kind of limitless, no matter what your idea might be and how crazy it might be, honestly, including like swimming pools, etc., etc., etc. Permaculture's kind of, it covers it all, and it does it in this closed system that after you've put the initial effort in, it kind of just runs itself.
So I guess the big question is, do we still dream of owning a farm one day? And the answer is kind of. There's some things we still need to work out, but we can keep that dream kind of brewing in the background because we still have loads to experience with Project Wild Earth.
Yeah, I think ultimately the bottom line is yes, but the major reality check is if you're going to do this from scratch, it requires years of continuous work to get it up to a stage where you can kind of get flexibility with your lifestyle again. And it just kind of sat with us.
You have to be all in.
Yeah, it just made us think, are we ready for this right now? and I don't think we are, but that's great to kind of have that, and then just go forward with the plan that, you know, we do want to be self-sufficient at some stage. We do want to have a small plot of land, but we also need to do it at a time that's right for us as a family, and when we're ready to commit. And if there's lots of other things that we want to do, that's fine. Go and do those things, and then maybe come back to the farming a bit later on.
Yep. So that's the answer to that. It was nice to be back in our home on wheels. Following the recommendations of a fellow overlander based in Turkey, we camped near Stone Road, considered to be one of the world's most dangerous roads. In the morning, we'd give it a go to see if it lived up to its name. Its twists and turns run through what's called Dark Canyon, with the Euphrates River flowing below. Stone Road took over a century to build. Starting in 1870, the locals wanted to build a path to connect to other settlements. With no support financially from the authorities, they took it upon themselves to build it using only primitive tools. As you drive through all 38 hand-chiseled tunnels, you can only sit in awe as you think about the human spirit and the blood, sweat, and tears that would have gone into making the road. Eventually, the villagers received help, and the road was widened enough for one vehicle to pass at a time. We had so much fun driving this road, and it kept us coming back for more. The steep drops and no barriers on tight bends will definitely get your heart racing, but we're not sure it's as dangerous as you're led to believe, which was fine with me. If you've seen our other videos, it's not surprising that we are back in the mountains.
It seems like you want to go fast, Eddie.
I think you might be right, Jack.
To go up the hill, don't we, Jaja?
Yes.
Yeah.
Our time in Turkey was sadly coming to a close. I have a feeling we'll be back. It was time to move on to the next phase of our journey and head to Central Asia. The tricky part was how to get there. We had 3 options: put the vehicles on a ferry from Azerbaijan and fly to meet them in Kazakhstan, or drive through either Russia or Iran.
Is it nice, Charlotte? Is it nice? What does it taste like?